going on, guys? This is Tim with Whisker Stix. Said I'd be following up with some more videos in the future, and that's now. So I've been getting a surprisingly common question that I was not expecting, and mainly because I did not know this. Seems like my lights have been going pretty viral across the country with all the catfishing groups and regular fishing groups and different groups that I'm on. Some of them are nationwide groups. I've sold a few of these to states as far as Colorado. I'm in Ohio, Texas, New Jersey, and I've been getting messages from all over the country and comments on some of the posts that I make asking me, what are those lights? How do you use them? We've never seen them before. I thought this was a pretty common thing, but apparently what some have told me is outside of the tri-state area, Ohio, Indiana, and Kentucky, there's not many, if at all, pay lakes around. And that's usually the 90% of where these lights are found are used at pay lakes because they're just stocked full of catfish and people like to go catfishing at night. And these lights help them see, obviously. I thought this was all over the place, I figured everybody had pay lakes around them. So I was really surprised when people wrote me and asked me what the lights are and how they are used, or what do you use them for, how do you apply them, and I'm going to try to answer that today. The most common way that we do around here at pay lakes is for your slip float rig and your slip float fishing at night. And all this is you eye wrap tape around the battery first, around here, real tight to keep those two pins that are inside. Let's see if it'll show. Kind of see them. There's two pins in there, a positive and a negative. And the battery, it's a 2032 3-volt coin battery. There's a textured like waffle side, that's the negative, and this is the positive, the flat side. And goes in like that. If you put it in wrong, it just won't light up. I tape around the battery due to sometimes over time these boots will lose some of their strength just from use and abuse, and you'll get, let's see if I can make it, it'll flicker if it's got a bad connection. And if you hit the water and it severs that connection, you got to reel it in and redo it. So I wrap tape around the float, or around the battery first, and then I will wrap it around the float. I kind of overdo mine just so I know it stays really rigid on there, and it won't bend the pins. Mine are pretty sturdy already as is, but if you're using someone else's who isn't as much, these will have a lot more play, and the more you bend them, the looser the connection gets over time when you use them over and over again. So that's how mine usually look. That's one way to do it. Another way is if you're fishing on the bottom or don't like using floats, if my finger is the rod, just put it on somewhere up on the top side of your rod, on the adjacent side of the line. If my line's down here on say an open face reel, I'll put it on the top side of the pole. Or if I'm using a bait caster reel and my line's going to be on top, I'll put it on the bottom so the line doesn't interfere with the light. And when you get a bite, you'll see that light bounce. Another way to do it, if you're on bottom, is some people like to use little strikers, or they'll hang just a regular old red and white plastic float. One of them little floats with the two hooks on them. They'll attach that to their line and they'll pull some slack down. And when the fish takes off with it, you'll see that slack decrease and your line will go up on a striker. And you can use anything for that during the day, but at night you could tape one of these to one of those floats. Say this is my big huge striker float. It'll rise up and you'll see that light go up at night. So that's another way to do it. Some people, including myself, like to take, if I have multiple poles, say I've got 4 poles out, I'll use 4 different colors for each one so I know which rod's where, and I'll put a red light on a float, a blue, a green, a white, so I know which one's which. And I'll take another light of the same color and I'll attach it to my rod holder, or if I'm just letting them lay on the ground or the grass, I'll put it on my rod handle. So I know when I got my red float goes down, I reach for the pole that's got the red light on it, so I don't accidentally grab the wrong one, try to set a hook, and then miss a fish because it's the wrong pole. So those are some ways to do it. As far as the actual light itself goes, for people who are asking, I know mine are pretty unique, but they all follow the same principle. You've got a battery that powers the light. Some people use different sizes. I use 5mm LED diodes, and they got a positive and negative pin. The battery gets held against the pins, makes the connection, and it lights it up. The battery is molded to this boot, and the boot is molded to the tube, and the tube lets you broadcast the light and control it, so you have a lighted tube imitating one of those old school snap glow sticks. Benefit to these is the old snap glow sticks, you use them for that one night when you're fishing and then you throw them away. These will last for multiple trips. You take the battery out when you're done fishing, blow all the water out with your mouth or an air can, dry them off, and then put them back in your tackle box for next time. And when you come back out, put it back in and it's good to go again. The time can vary on the batteries depending on what color bulb you're using. Some of the brighter ones draw more power, so they don't last as long. And when I mean don't last as long, I'm talking you're still getting a good 50 to 60 hours out of the strongest lights. The weaker lights you'll get more 60, 70 plus, and it depends on the battery you're using too. I don't buy the most expensive top shelf batteries solely because they're going to rust out over time. The batteries will build up rust, the pins will build up rust, and there's really no avoiding it. But you can prolong it by blowing the water out, keeping the moisture off of them when they're not in use. So I'm not going to go buy the highest quality top shelf battery and spend all that extra money just for it to rust out. But I don't also get the dirt cheap low ones either. I kind of stay in the middle. So you still get, you get your money's worth. Get a drink, excuse me. That's basically what this light is. It's an LED powered light stuck in a tube with a boot powered by battery. I've seen people just buy the diodes and the battery. Look up throwies. Some people just use them for toys. It's a light bulb with a battery and they hot glue a magnet and they'll just throw them at the fridge or whatever. This is a souped up version of that. These are, of course, are a lot more durable. They're very sturdy. They don't flex much at all. Ask people who's bought them off of me already for their opinion. They'll tell you as well. I'm pretty confident I've got a high quality product. I make these all by hand, one at a time. This is an entirely handmade, handcrafted, hand-designed item, and I'm going to be making tons of them. So anybody wants some, they're welcome to come get some. I want to share them with anybody who likes night fishing or cat fishing or going at night for crappie or muskie towards late fall, early winter. It's not just for cat fishing. Any type of fish you're going after at night, you can use these for. And they're also not just for fishing. They have tons of other applicable uses, and I'm going to try to cover some of those in other videos. But these are pretty neat to have when you are wanting to go night fishing. For all the people who have asked me about them, who like to fish, that have never seen these before or are interested in trying them, I highly recommend it. I think you'll get a lot of fun out of them. It's neat to see where your float is at night, not have to shine a flashlight on it, not have to pay all the money for those bobbers that's got the lights in them that you get at Walmart, just to end up snagging and losing all your tackle when you break the line. If you spend all that money on those expensive floats, which, I mean, they work good, you can still see them, but spend all that money on those floats and then lose your tackle. I probably paid $3 for this float. These are the only ones I'll ever get. I get cheap floats because if you snag or if the fish is too big, one way or another you break your line and you lose that, you lose a lot of money and you can't always get them back. So this is a more cost-effective ultimatum. These are only a couple bucks a piece, and if you lose it, no big deal. Not a lot of money wasted. So these are my Whisker Stix. These are my LED lights. They are for sale. I do have confirmed purple on the way. I will be adding a purple light to the mix, so I will have 10 solid colors. Had lots of requests for purple. I'm still looking for a name for purple. So whether you're watching this on YouTube or the Facebook group, or you see it on my wall, or you see it on the official page on Facebook, I upload the same video to all the places at once. Let me know what you think. Take a fan voted name for the purple. I was personally thinking royal purple, but somebody might come up with something even cooler. It's not going to be a standard purple. I'm going to try to tweak it just a little bit like I do with all my colors and make them my own. So let me know what you guys think. If you have any more questions, feel free to get a hold of me. There's tons of ways. Comment on YouTube, comment on the videos on the Facebook group or the page. You can direct message me on Facebook. I have an email set up. It's whiskerstixcincy@gmail.com. That's STIXCINCY, whiskerstixcincy@gmail.com. It should be on the video below in the descriptions if you're watching this on YouTube. If you're watching this on Facebook, just send a message. It's got a big send message button on the group, or you can find me, Timothy Hardwick, and send me private messages as well. Tons of ways to get a hold of me, tons of ways to order lights. They're on for sale right now. If you need pricing information, they are $3 a piece right now if you buy, say, small amounts. If you want to buy bigger amounts, I do discount the price, and it's free shipping. So if you're not within the Cincinnati area and you can't physically meet, I do ship to the lower 48 states, and it's usually ground. So hit me up. Let me know what you guys think. Gonna have more videos to come soon, and we will see you guys later. Thanks. Have a good one, guys.